To order. Laura, can you do the roll call?
Yes, sir. Councilmember Hensley. Councilmember Kidwell.
Here.
Councilmember Teague.
Here.
Councilmember Ward.
Here. Okay, thanks everyone for being here. Next, I would like to ask Nicole Rader to come up and lead us in the invocation, and then Tim to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you today and we thank you, Lord, for all that you bless us with. We come to you, Lord Jesus, for guidance and for security, Lord. We pray that you watch over us and protect us and give us answers, Lord, that for those questions that we may have. Lord, we come to you and we ask for your forgiveness, and we pray that you watch over us and protect us and keep us safe at all times. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
If you'll face the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Kathy came over today and said, was at the Roby and said that, how many, 27 people last week?
27 last month. Was it?
Last month. So we're going to have to put a five-floor growth over here to take care of the building and all the people. Do what? Okay, all right, we'll do something. I think there are some discussions about that right now also. As far as the mayor's comments go, I would like to invite Eric Price up real quick. We've got a little, and Patsy to come up. We got a little. And Sherry. And Sherry.
Come on up, Sherry. One time you did that and you moved into the picture. I meant to tell you.
you give me.
Comments you want to give?
People know Sherry was our first. I think every test that we've taken from that point forward, we've had at least. And we so far we've hired one more. Doors there.
You were a trailblazer, and thank you so much for all. I certainly am very proud of our. Congratulations.
Thank you for coming, Sherry. Thank you.
Also, over the last couple of weeks since our last meeting, we had the Bradco, the bike ride across Greene County, and I think there were 65 or 70 people that participated in that, so that was a good event. We've had Wings and Wheels last week, and while it was going on before the rains came, there was a big turnout, and it was cool because the Navy brought in a couple of jets, and the Army brought in a helicopter, and there were a lot of kids walking around looking at those, and I hope that it will get some of the younger folks excited about our military opportunities and reach out for those kinds of things. This last Saturday, we had Rural Resources Dinner on Church Street. We had a Each One Reach One at Friendship Baptist, a dinner, and then the Junior ROTC had one out at Link Hill. So if you wanted to eat, there were plenty of opportunities to do that on Saturday. The Hurricane Helene remembrance, if any of y'all came down for that a couple weeks ago, it was very well attended, and I thought it was a good program. And if any of you were there when those sirens went off, it was very, very touching. Were you there? You were there, weren't you? It was incredible. It was incredible. Lyrics on the Y'all, Long Fall Y'all, whatever the heck it is, was here on Thursday, and it's done. And it was a good turnout, so that was great. Thank you so much. And then the pickleball courts, we will be having a grand opening sometime in the next couple of weeks. People have started using that, the one down here on downtown. So lots of kids down there in the evening, which is good to see. And then we've gotten started on the Pocket Park and the walkway through from
Named to Crowfoot Alley.
Crowfoot Alley to Main. Thank you. And there was lots of concrete that's been pulled up, and it looks like it's going very well. So that, Dave, you said maybe 3 weeks, something like that? So 6 weeks from now, we'll be hoping. But anyway, there's a lot of stuff going on around town, and it's exciting of all the things that are happening. We had the Oktoberfest, and there was a good turnout for that. So that's all the comments I have. Does anybody else have anything? No? Is there any public comments? Okay. Laura and I have been talking a little bit. She went to a training this past week, 2 weeks ago, I guess, and learned a little bit more about how these meetings need to flow and those kinds of things. So we're going to have some discussions over the next week or two, and you should hear something from her about some of the things that we're going to look at to try to make it more to make it flow better. Okay, going to unfinished business, we have item 7.1. It's a consideration to approve the minutes from the regularly scheduled meeting held on September 6, 2025. These were sent out last Thursday. Appreciate you getting that out on Thursday. And do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Do I hear a second? Is there any additions or discussions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, like sign. Motion carries. Okay, item 8.1 is discussion from JMT, and consideration to approve the addition of railings on Depot Street. Come on up. If anybody else wants to come up, come on with them.
I appreciate y'all having us today to go over the leaning rails. We met on site just before the council meeting here to discuss the 8-foot-long leaning rails to direct folks to use the ADA compliant path on Depot Street. So you all are looking to add approximately 14 rails throughout the corridor of the project, and they're $2,450 a piece.
Do we have a picture of it so people could take a look? Page 3. So those would be put up on the, right next to the, where it starts slope down, so to try to keep people off of it. It's about 12 inches wide? And how high? Okay. And it would give people a place to maybe put, I saw Kidwell down there on Oktoberfest, and he needed to have a place to put hot dogs down, or bratwurst or something, or maybe something else. But anyway, that would give people an opportunity to put stuff down or kind of avoid the slopes. And the cost of each of those is,
$2,450 each.
okay, so 14 of that would be,
Look down there at Laura on her numbers. And that's with installation, yeah.
Fabrication, the mock-up included in that.
About $34,300.
and then I think there was a suggestion that we have 2 extras, possibly, so that'd be another $4,900.
No, that's including installation. They're $400 to install, right? It's $400 to install?
There's no additional cost. The $2,450 is the fabrication and installation both.
Right, but if we choose to install them ourselves, what happens? How much?
I did not request a price for that.
Okay, so I thought somebody told me that
It's possible
at the meeting
that
down there.
That was discussed, but that was not something that was coordinated through Summer State.
Would be to have 2 extra would be.
Yeah, just in case they,
I think would be cheaper than installing them, surely. I don't know who told me that, but that's what I understood.
okay. So what's the pleasure? Do I hear a motion to approve these? Do I hear some additional discussion?
I
What-
do.
okay.
If you don't mind me asking.
Absolutely.
Okay. I asked Kathy at this workshop down there on Depot Street if we had talked to all the property owners up and down Depot about putting them in front of their business.
It has not been coordinated directly with the business.
Well, I know JMT hasn't, but I'm wondering if town has. I'm pretty sure Todd did when this first started, and he had no complaints about them.
I'll go down next week or tomorrow and check those.
I think before we go as far as ordering them
Mm-hmm.
and installing them in front of businesses, we need to talk to them.
I'll get down there and talk to them
Somebody-
tomorrow.
Not the business owners that have been out have been very pleased with the idea and the option, but I won't.
Well,
say
where
that
we
they're
met, the
active.
business owner loved it.
Yeah, there's
but-
about 3 or 4 within that corridor that I know have come out and love the idea.
Okay.
I wouldn't say every location has been coordinated with a business owner.
That's all. I
We
have.
actually have all of their email addresses from when we used to have the, oh, sorry. We have all of their email addresses too, that we could reach out to them by email from our stakeholders meeting, just to get their input that way too, so.
If you don't hear from them, let me know and I'll go talk to them, but it would be better to have it written.
It'd be great to have an email from them, but I'd rather them see a picture of what they're getting. And we've got pictures now.
Yeah, we could
Okay.
attach
Show
this
'em,
too,
yeah.
so they could see
Or,
this.
no, because we won't have stools. Let
Right.
people understand
Well,
that.
Christina has pictures.
Okay. Because that will impede on ADA, stools.
Yes,
I mean, we could never have those stools.
placing stools.
I guess that's why they're called leaning rails, not sitting, okay.
So do we need to put it off until our next meeting?
If you feel comfortable, we could go ahead and approve it, and then, nah, I guess we need to wait until the next meeting.
The locations could be coordinated if you wanted to approve the number of them, if the concept and the mock-up is agreeable. We could move forward with fabrication, and then we could coordinate locations.
It's about 30 days to get them completed.
And I think that's where, Mayor, if I may,
Sure.
I'm not sure how many are needed until we talk to the business owners, but even some of the business owners might want them on West Depot Street, might not want them. There's a few slopes down there that we have to take care of with something, whether it might be painting, staining, hand railing, that was brought up. on West Depot Street, West Depot Street.
Near Cutler.
Yes, yeah, right there at Cutler, where it gets really steep, in front of the law office, in front of Theater Depot.
Yeah, in front of the law office is the only one that would be suggested.
Okay.
Based on the grade.
Handrail, yeah. Based on a grade of greater than 70%.
Or handrail, they may not want the leaning rail, a handrail we could go with, which I understand might be a little cheaper, hand railing. So I don't mind okaying this. I think we've waited 2 years to do something about this, but I don't know if we got to give her a definite answer on how many, then I think we need to table it until the next meeting. But if we know how many we want, it may just be an aesthetics thing, that we may space them out between Irish and Main. If I'm calling it again, West Depot Street really doesn't need but one or two, we may just, not symmetrical, but place them aesthetically pleasing down between Main and, or maybe even some on down on East Depot.
Well, let me ask this question. Is the design acceptable?
Yeah,
Myself, I like the design.
I like it too. We got to decide on the color though, the top,
Okay, and
not white.
so do I hear a motion to approve the design? And I think that the beige color was leading down there at that time with the black paint. So do I hear anyone that would like to do a motion on the design and the color?
And this money is coming out of the bond money, correct? that
We do
left
have,
on
we do
Depot
have
Street?
bond proceeds to do, even if you wanted to do, let's see, right now we're talking about 14, 16, you could do up to probably about 20. Or we also talked to Mr. McCall about the number that you would like, plus a couple extra, plus some parts, like a couple of tabletops and a couple of the panels on the front.
I'll make that motion to approve the design, the paint, and
Okay. So we have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion in a second. Is there any further discussion?
I'm really not sure about what we're buying again, how many? What, is this just the concept,
The
not concept,
the
but
design
design
and-
plan and not how many we're buying?
right.
Correct.
And I'll go down and talk. I'll try to get some written stuff also, so we can get that in there. But this at least gives us an idea of what we're going to look at. So we have a motion and a second. Tim, are you good? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, like sign. Motion carries. We will get through. I swear we will.
We are. It looks wonderful as is, so I'm very proud of it. But
Yes, it does.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, crap. Next is item 8.2. It's discussion and consideration to approve MTAS to conduct search process for city manager. Pete Auger is here. I'd like to ask him to come up. There was a memo sent out last week about, Pete and I have had two or three discussions about what we thought needs to be done or some ideas that we thought we could work through. So Pete's been through this process a number of times. When I worked in my human resources jobs, I've been through a number of, not city manager search, but managers and vice presidents and presidents search. So in some of the discussions, we can use MTAS, which is a state-funded issue, or we could use an outside executive search firm, which typically costs between 25 and 35% of the first year salary. So that would be somewhere between $30,000 and $60,000. So I thought this might be a good place to start. So can you kind of go over what we have talked about?
Sure. Mayor, in your letter laid it out, there's a lot of legwork. We just don't put an ad out in the paper to see who wants to apply for the position. The first steps is finding out what the elected officials are looking for in their next city manager. There's many different types of managers out there. There's fiscally strong city managers. There's project-oriented city managers. There's inspirational or team-building city.
Can you hear him? Can you get closer to them?
This one, okay. Is that better? No?
I can hear you.
Oh,
I don't
you
know if
can-
they can in the back.
Can't
No,
hear me now?
they
Can you hear me now?
yes.
Okay. Sorry. There's a lot of legwork to start out before we even go looking for city managers. There's several different types of managers. I've been a manager for 32 years. There's fiscal managers, there's project-oriented managers, there's inspirational or team-building managers, all different types and all different personalities. And it depends on where the board is at before we even solidify a job description to go out to look for a manager. And then there's decisions to be made all along the way by the council of timing. I was talking to the mayor. It usually takes 3 to 6 months, depending on the speed and getting some of these meetings together. But when you're going out, and I think you're probably going to want to do a statewide search, is my guess, at least, if not a national search for a city of your nomenclature and size, I think it'd be very attractive for some city managers to come in and want to apply to be your next manager. But that's what those first meetings are about, is getting to know what you're looking for, making decisions. And again, it's all your decisions. MTAS doesn't make any decision for you. The only part that we would look at is when we go out and we put an ad out and reach out to the population of city managers across the country or across the state or whatever you decide, is we can narrow down the field of applicants so you're not interviewing 32 applicants, and narrowing down that field to a number you're comfortable with interviewing. And that even gets into the interviewing process of what you'd like to decide. If you'd like an assessment center, we can do an assessment center and have other city managers come in and interview the candidates before you get to them. So then you can get some city manager input on who knows what they're doing and what the better candidates that they would recommend out of it. And when it comes down to interviewing the candidates, council members interviewing them one-on-one versus an interview in this situation right here where it's a public meeting and you get to interview them. Plus there's other techniques that you can do to get to know these people, because it is a big decision. And you're going to want to know as much about these candidates as you can before you pull the trigger. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Is there a cost associated with your service?
Nope. Well, I'd like to say no, but that wouldn't be true, because you pay for it in your
In our
sales
membership.
tax that you send to Nashville, and Nashville sends to the University of Tennessee, and the University of Tennessee is actually our employer. So yes, the only cost would be normally if people are traveling from out of state and you're going to put them up a hotel, some travel costs may come into that. But that's usually the only cost involved.
And that would be the same no matter who we were using for the search. How many searches has MTAS completed in the last 3 years, maybe?
Oh, geez.
Last 1 year?
I couldn't even tell you. Since I've been here, I've been here 3 years, and I've been a part of 4 city manager searches, from a first-time city manager search to looking at the whole processes, and a council deciding they had somebody to come up from within after talking to them, interviewing, seeing what they were looking for in their talents and skills. They had somebody right on board that matched everything, and they never really thought about taking that. We just, first-time city manager in Bluff City, I just finished that one up, and she accepted. Actually, they're hiring a city manager from, she's coming from New Hampshire. So you never know what you're going to get until you go out there and find it, but you have to know what you're looking for. And that's why we take this process and setting up, knowing what you're looking for, what values you have, what you're looking for as far as skill sets and experiences. Communication style is huge. But then again, it all comes down to what you're looking for, not necessarily what MTAS. We are just a facilitation device to get people in front of you so you can make that decision.
Yeah.
And Mayor, if I address, I've seen other meetings, and Matt Hensley works for MTAS, and I know there were some questions about, is that a conflict of interest? And I can tell you right now that there's no conflict of interest. Matt doesn't make any money, or council member Hensley doesn't make any money off this. He's actually in a different division than the management consultants. He's in the training division. So we have a division that goes around and just does training for municipalities. He doesn't get any information from me before you do. You all get it at the same time. There's no, he doesn't even work out of the same office that I work out of. So if there's any concern that there's a conflict of interest that might skew, I don't know, that he gets more weight in the process.
Where did these concerns come from, Pete?
I heard it at watching one of your meetings.
Okay. I must have skipped over that,
But I just wanted to throw that out there,
Okay.
since, you know, that there
may
might
I
be
ask a
concern.
question?
Absolutely.
Patsy, do we have 14-year-old job description that when the last city manager was hired, what we were looking for then, somewhere there's a job description that Todd was hired off of?
In the town charter.
I know that Pat Hardy helped with that. I wonder if MTAS has it. He was with MTAS at the time.
I can go back and look through the archives, but.
That would be a very good place to start.
Yes.
What our last city manager was hired. I mean, he lasted 14 years, so I mean, it must have been a good job description.
Well,
that-
and the meat and potatoes of your job description is in your charter, because you have to follow that. You can add things in a job description beyond what's in your charter, but that's a great place to start. But I'll look back in our archives and see if I can find something from when Mr. Hardy did the job description back then. But it probably changed a little bit, and our strategies and how we do things is a little bit different, more modernized than what we used to do. So, and we can work through every step of the process, including helping you negotiate that contract when it comes to that time.
Will you be our contact person, should we decide to go that direction? Would you be leading that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and we have some internal staff that would help on some of the clerical stuff, some of the getting the information out to all the networks. But yes, basically, I'd be facilitating the whole process.
I appreciate you disclosing that Councilmember Hensley is an employee of MTAS. Thank you.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of worries in this decision. I mean, and nobody likes surprises, so I like addressing things when they come up and not letting them bubble up later to find out there was an issue. That's why I watched a few meetings to see, you know, to get the temperature of what's going on. So I think in discussing with the mayor and looking at the letter he sent out, I think he lays it out pretty good. There's still decisions to be made all along the course. But the first one is engaging us to start, and then some meetings between me and you to get to know each and every one of you and what you're looking for, and then coming back together to put a package together on something that you have consensus on.
Well, and some of the things you said, was a job description. There was a job description that said the mayor or the city manager needed to live in Greenville, and he didn't, so it was changed. And I think that needs to be in there. It's up to everybody's suggestion. So just having these discussions gets us started on what we can look for and what we're going to look for. And then if, after these first discussions, we feel like this is not the way we need to go, we can always start going in a different direction. But just having these discussions with him, I think would be a good way to start. We could kind of just see where everybody is, and some people thought he was doing a great job, and some people didn't. So it's,
We started out pretty divided in this process.
absolutely.
So, there's a lot of ground in between, I think.
So,
In my experience, this process gets the information out that you're going to need to make decisions on. You probably don't know what type, you might have something in your mind of what type of city manager you're looking for, but you don't know how to describe exactly what those skills and technologies that are needed, experiences that are needed, and things like that. And that's what we can pull out of our discussion. And at least you'll have a starting point to go from there is, okay, we know we want to go this direction. What's the next step? And there's a step in there, I'm forgetting what we called it, Mayor, but at a stakeholder meeting or,
yeah.
Some communities like some of the public to involve in the process of asking what they're looking for, or department directors, employees, things of that nature. Those are all decisions that are up to you as the council of what you want to do, but they're possibilities to get more information.
Okay.
May I go back, if I may interrupt, go back to what you just said about living in the county or the city? I was actually serving on the board in '99 when we made a decision that all department heads will live in the city limits within 6 months of being hired. That was done away with because of pool size, is what I understand.
Yeah.
And our last city manager was hired knowing where he lived and never asked to move in. So that has nothing to do with it unless we want to change it now. We won't go back to the past.
Very true.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I understand that.
Well,
And there were some people that asked about whether I felt like everybody needed to live in town, and I don't. But the city manager, my opinion, is they should.
Well,
So-
I voted for it last time. I mean, I voted for it that they should because they're paid by city taxpayers' money,
Okay,
period. I mean, all department heads. But I understood that you're overlooking several people if you do that.
Well, and there,
I mean,
and
look,
there's- And there are ways to address that, you don't want to shrink the pool size, as you're mentioning, but you can say preferred and then negotiate that in the contract. To give you an example, one community that I was hired in, they weren't allowed to ask me to move in the contract. It was a different state, different laws. But I knew they wanted me to live in the city, so I brought it up and said, if you pay my moving expense, I was moving from a distance away, if you pay my moving expense, I'll purchase a house inside the city. And they just all smiled and said, we'll do that, because they wanted me to live in the city. So there are techniques and ways to get at what you want without shrinking that pool size.
I went back through the old minutes and found that when Mr. Smith was hired, and it was brought up, but they decided that wasn't a problem at that time. And,
It's
and
challenging.
to get a great city manager, I don't think that is a requirement that I would definitely stick to, but I would rather them live in the city limits, not in the county, but city limits. But like I said, we may,
And that's something you can put out there in the advertisement, that it's preferred, or if it is.
preferred's a good word.
If it is mandated, it is mandated, but you might not get some candidates, because in today's society, a lot of families, both spouses work. And some have children, and they're in different ages in different schools. I know one of the searches I just did was an issue is one of the candidates wouldn't move, because they wanted their kids to finish the school. So there's all types of decisions you have to make. You don't have to make those now. that's some of the things that will come out as the mayor and I discuss. You know, we all have different ideas of what we want in a perfect manager. And I'm going to tell you, there is no perfect manager. They're all human. So anyone who applies is going to have pluses and minuses, and you'll get to weigh them and decide which one you want.
Okay. This was really just to start the project or process, and if there's, my thinking would be to start with the individual discussions, and after that, we can talk a little bit, get some feedback from Pete, and decide what the next step will be. And I hope that we are able to give him discussions on what we think the next step it needs to be, because it is our decision. So I would be looking for a motion to start the process with individual discussions and then move forward after that.
You're talking about individual discussions with the council.
Yes.
But have we looked at headhunters? Have we looked at different companies that do that and what it really costs?
I've talked to MTAS. I also got on a website today that said for it's a company called Sumter Consulting. They only work on government jobs, and theirs for an executive was 25 to 35% of the first year's. But I can call them if you would like, and if you would rather wait until we get that information in.
So really what we would need to do at that point for transparency is to put out an RFQ for professional hiring services if you want to do that.
And I guess the one thing, if we started this, there's no charge to us, and it would start our process of getting at least the ideas of what we think we need. And we would probably have another one. So if you want to wait, how long does we have to put it out and bid it for?
An advertisement, a lot of times, and Patsy can help me here, a lot of times for the executive positions, department heads, they're usually, the statement is open until filled.
No, I mean, if we were going to go out to an outside.
Oh, a minimum,
I'm
oh,
sorry.
you're talking about the RFQ?
Yeah,
A minimum
I'm
of
sorry.
a minimum of 2 weeks.
Okay.
Minimum 2 weeks.
Yes. Can you come up here? No, it's okay. I should have asked you up.
They are municipal technical advisors and have good consultants for all careers in local government. So that's why I think typically it is normal for us to use MTAS, because I would think if you go out to a private recruiting firms, the percentage will most likely be higher. I mean, I can't say that because I've not done any research. I'm just saying private industry would probably cost more.
And this is
than
not very
MTAS.
typical, Patsy.
What's that?
We've not done this but once, and
I
that wasn't with
understand.
anybody sitting on this board.
Yes,
So,
I'm just speaking
and
from
I've
my
known
background.
Pete since he started with MTask, and he's given us his word that he's the one that's going to be doing it, other than clerical works, what you said.
I just
Thank you.
wanted to add that.
Would you feel comfortable in doing can't you go out and find out what the costs are? Or
You have to do a sealed professional RFQ.
you can't discuss with people?
You cannot. No, sir.
Well, there you go.
It's about it's a bid without a bid, what an RFQ.
Yeah.
Bid for personal, for professional services is not allowed, but that's basically what they do and give you a percentage or a cost. So I'm not saying let's go there. I don't really care about spending the city's money if we don't have to. And we're already paying MTS with our tax money.
Well, I think we need to move forward, get the process going.
About 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So do I hear a motion to get this process started?
I'll make a motion, we get this process started, yes.
With MTS?
If that's who we're going to use, yes.
Well, I guess that's my question.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, like sign. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, and I'll reach out to the council members to set up something in the following week, probably.
Individually, right.
Do you have, is there any of you that have days you can't be or weeks that you're traveling? Can you just kind of have your schedule ready when Pete calls?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Thanks so much for coming. Thanks, everyone.
And his last name, is that A-L-D-E-R?
Auger.
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 All right. Item 8.3 is consideration to approve cleanup of the Roby Theater, allow a structural engineer and utility specialist to evaluate the status of building. A donation of funds has been committed to offset the cost of expenses. Hello, Nicole. And Carl, can you come up, please?
So, speaking on the behalf of the theater committee, which I am not a part of, but on behalf of the theater committee, they would like to ask for your consideration to approve moving forward with Mop Squad to do the cleanup for the theater. There was 3 bids, and they have decided that Mop Squad is the one that they would like to use.
Okay. Is there anything you'd like to add, or?
Well, the only thing I would like to add to that is, obviously, we've gotten through the asbestos. It's time to clean the space up so that we can evaluate the condition of the building. And
Can
then-
you scoot up closer to the,
I'm sorry.
that's okay.
We want to evaluate the condition of the building through a professional engineer so that once the building's cleaned up, that he can evaluate that the building is structurally sound and worth pursuing the next steps. So part of this consideration right now is, A, to get the approval to do the cleanup, B, to get the engineer in there to do the evaluation, and the third part of that actually is the okay for me to take professional and contractors in there for pricing purposes only to get budget numbers put together.
So we can't have anybody else in that facility. So contractors are a no at this point. We just need to limit the number of people we have in and out of that building until at least we get that structural engineer. So all along, we've been talking about doing this in phases. So, and I'll defer to the board as far as that goes, and Kathy may have a similar comment or even entirely different comment, but I think we need to be really careful about having contractors in there. We have to bid out the contractor prices for the
Understood.
project.
Understood, but all I'm trying to do at this point in time is get a feel for budgetarily what we're looking at on an improvement scenario of taking the building that was closed due to code violations and building code violations. So what it would take to bring the building into code compliance in 2025.
So is that, and I'm just asking for my own information, is that what the engineer, the structural engineer is going to do for you, or?
He is looking, in my opinion, he is looking at the structure itself to make sure that it is structurally sound. But he is not necessarily qualified to give me a price of what it would take to fix the ceiling, for example.
Okay, yeah, so
Just
all,
using that as an
so
example.
all those, even, the same conversation we just had about the consultant or hiring a firm, we have to put that out for bid. So we can't call somebody in to give estimates or anything like that.
Even for budgetary purposes, no contracts are being issued, no, I would still put it out to bid, but we're trying to determine at this point in time, are we looking at $1 million to fix this building? Are we looking at $3 million to fix a building? Those numbers affect the next decisions. So all I'm looking for is just strictly to take one at a time, an electrician in there, I'm just grabbing an example. What's it take to budgetarily put this building together? Once we get those budgets, so we know what the next steps, then we finish our plans, put it out to bid so that we have the 3 bids. I totally understand that and I totally agree. All I'm trying to do is get budgetary numbers at this point in time so that we know what we're talking about.
So in the agenda item, it was listed for the three quotes here for approval for cleanup.
Right.
And then it was also listed as like, after they approve that as a second part, is to allow the structural engineer to come in and to allow those utility specialists to come in and do an evaluation, meaning GEA, because I believe GEA's wanted to come in there, and for the Water Commission maybe to come in there to look at the sewer. That was what I was told, that for the
Really
evaluation.
wasn't my intent. I mean, I saw what was written on the agenda, and I really was looking more on a broader base of a sheetrocker, a plumber.
So
I mean, just for example, if I may, we have thoughts on putting restrooms into the building. I have not a clue, or I do have a clue, but I'm not prepared to say what that is, of what it would cost to bring a fully functional restroom into the building.
Let me give it a shot. This is owned, of course, by the town.
Absolutely.
I think what Laura was trying to say, and I know it for a fact, is you can't have contractors in there when you're going to have to put it out for an RFP and RFQ later, just because it's showing if you had a plumber in there, then he's going to have a leg up when it comes bidding time on what it is. You understand? That's what we have to do as the city.
Well, as a city, and I understand that, but I've also got to put budget numbers together so that when we get to
I
that.
understand your
I mean,
situation.
it's a catch-22.
I understand your situation, but we can't allow that to happen.
First, let me try.
Let me-
Is that okay?
Go ahead.
You're going to get it cleaned.
Right.
Take a couple of weeks, couple days. You get the engineer in.
Right.
And he says, it's falling apart, you need to stop. Or he says, it's doing good, well, I think it's okay, we need to get quotes. That's going to be another week or 2.
Right.
After that,
In between there, after the structural engineer, then the utility specialist, GEA and Greenville Water Commission go in to do an evaluation.
And
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken, in the conversations that we've had, then it really stops there, and Bert's not here, I would defer to Bert. I think before you get into contractors and anybody else coming in to do anything, they have to have, did he say they have to have an approved plan?
No, so I've got the documentation.
I didn't remember what he,
From the State Fire Marshal's office, and Eric might want to come up here and help with this part. Look at him, he's excited. So, and Carl, you have this information too, per the email, that at this point in time for cleanup and for evaluation with structural engineer and the utility specialist, meaning GEA and the Water Commission, no plans are needed at this point in time, and no fire watch is needed at this time because it's only for cleanup process and evaluation, which is what I was told by Councilmember Hensley. He said that these are the things that your committee is asking for at this point so that you can come back from the Roby Committee, the Theater Committee, to give a report in November.
Correct.
And then we would take it to the next steps based off of their decision.
That's, okay. I can,
if we can get the structure approved, that it's okay. One thing, that'll free it should free our insurance group up a little bit to make it easier for people to get in, I think. And I know we will need to, if somebody's going to come and give us a quote, they're going to want to walk through it. So then we can make those arrangements for these people that might have an interest to go through and look at it, because they'll have to do it. But it doesn't give somebody separate or special.
Special.
Does that make
That
sense?
makes sense, that makes sense.
Okay.
Let me.
Is that fair?
Yes, and it's actually a formal bid process because the cost is obviously going to exceed the budget for that. Any improvements is going to exceed our $10,000 threshold. So that's a sealed,
Unfortunately, you're right.
that's a sealed bid process. And so when we get there, that's what that looks like. And that's all I was trying to say, is we've got to be really transparent about it.
Fair enough.
So
Yes.
let's get these first two things done or approved. The clean up.
May I throw one piece? in?
No. Yes, of course.
The cleanup needs to come out through the front doors and not through the adult center.
Right.
Do we all agree on that one? When I was in there the other day, the center door, there's 3 sets of doors that open up onto College Street. The center door is not padlocked or chained closed. It is strictly a deadbolt. Can we use that door for access or for the cleaning people?
Mike.
We're in the process of trying to find that key. Otherwise, it's going to have to be rekeyed. I do not, and I don't think John Darnell has a key to that, or if it is, it no longer works. So we need to either have it rekeyed, or we're going to have to obviously chain it from the outside. But either way, I do request that any entry made in that theater, because we have to have a sign-in sheet moving forward. And then I would have to, myself or Kathy would have to be in presence of letting whomever in.
Okay. We'll find out how to get the door working.
Just to add to, I don't know if Eric would like to speak to this, just for transparency too, because I know there was some, I know the word was used at times where it was condemned, or there was concerns, there was fire safety concerns from the local fire department, which took it to the state fire marshal's office, and that was due to some life safety issues. And just to share with everybody those life safety issues at that point in time.
Yes, from what I've been told, the fire marshal at the time had received some complaints or some issues with the building. He went in, noticed some deficiencies. That, of course, kicked it up to the state fire marshal's office, who came in and agreed those deficiencies existed in like means of egress,
The balcony.
the handrail, or the handrail on the balcony height, I believe, was the issue there. And of course, there's no sprinkler protection on that side of the building. So that was the reasons. It wasn't condemned, it was just closed due to those facts. To my knowledge and Chief Shipley's knowledge, the state fire marshal never deemed that building condemned or anything, nor did the building official of the town. We can't, I don't think, I mean, you've not been able to find that either, right? Okay. So
It was just more, it was the
it was
three,
a safety,
it's
it
life
was a public
safety.
safety matter, to have public gatherings in there. It didn't meet the standards of the time of the building codes as far as, like I said, sprinkler egress, and then the balcony safety issues, so. But yeah, as far as I know, it's not been condemned.
The state fire marshal, Eric, they don't condemn buildings anyway, do they? It's just life safety.
That's
that
correct. They just followed, just like our local codes
I mean, it'd
officials,
be
they
a
just follow,
structural
they just
engineer
follow
that
the International
condemns a
Fire
building.
Code, or the fire code, and base their findings off of that, so, yeah. That would be probably like a building type official situation.
And they have the money that's been given to the city, is that correct?
We haven't received the money yet, but there is a proposal.
We have the funds, we're just waiting on getting the approval from the board so that we can give the city the money, so she can turn around and issue the purchase order and we get this moving.
So if we get the cleanup and the structural engineer in, that'll give you some good information that we can we can have to share with insurance companies and so forth, and then the next step can come from that.
Fair enough.
Do I hear a motion to approve the cleanup and the structural engineer specialist?
And we're approving the low bidder of Mop Squad, is that correct?
Correct. And then special engineers don't,
The utility specialist, when I talked to.
no, not the
Oh.
utility, the structural engineer. Do we have to get a quote on that, or is that
No,
a?
he's actually going to donate his time on that one. That's a very specialized,
Yeah, so there's not a cost to that.
And he's not working for us anyway.
he's not working for us.
Working for
He's
the-
working, yes.
Okay, so I don't even, we don't even have to approve the structural engineer. I guess it'd be a good idea to do it, but,
I think it's more of allowing them to.
Allowing.
It's
Yes.
allowing him into the building,
Okay.
in my mind.
so I'll try one more time. Cleanup by Mop Squad and structural engineering by John
John
Jacobs, and we'll approve that if you pay for it.
Correct. Agreed.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Those against, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you, and I was just kidding when I said no. Okay.
I've met you before.
And everybody's running. Okay, item 8.4 is consideration to approve an addendum of the interlocal cooperative agreement pertaining to the Greenville Municipal Airport. Kathy or Laura or both of you, who wants to talk?
I'm gonna let Laura do that since she took that from the meeting minutes. This is, this came out of the joint public workshop, that's been a couple months ago now with the Airport Authority and with, the city council. And I believe there was, some requests by Councilmember Matt Hensley and Councilmember Tim Teague on some dates to be added. And Laura, you can expand upon that if I'm not stating everything that's needed.
No, that's correct. So during that workshop, there was it was a lot of conversation during that workshop, productive conversation. We have the agreement in place for the airport to separate from the town. This addendum, actually, Ron Woods drew this up. This was the timeline that was discussed at the workshop, and then there was a request from council members to go and add this to that agreement. Questions about that in particular?
I do for the airport authority. I see two of them here anyway. Angie, are these dates, you've looked over them and they're fine?
We are working towards doing some of these things. The 1, 2, and 3, I believe we could probably have those done by the proposed dates. The 5th one will likely require more time to figure out the payroll and payroll services. But we are working towards all these items. I can't really guarantee that we'll meet the exact timeline. But we had a workshop, we've got another one scheduled Thursday. We're looking at options.
Linda, how long do you think it would take to get there?
It depends on which item you're referring to. The payroll services and payroll reporting could probably be moved down to by the next fiscal year, the second section.
We may run into some issues on that. For example, since they have their own EIN number now, we could, well, a couple things. One, city council agreed several years ago, like, we have a liability if we're processing payroll for another entity. That's up to y'all to decide if you want to do it for the airport. But there will be some access issues to this, so they have their own EIN number. So, for example, Angela, we might be able, if the city council so desires for us to process their payroll, there still needs to be somebody on that side. I'm not an employee under that EIN, so I can't manage their TCRS. Patsy and HR can't manage their health plan. So there are some things that we could, the mechanics of the payroll processing maybe, but we're going to run into issues with some of the reporting on some of their payroll stuff.
Have y'all looked at any payroll processing?
No, not yet.
Mike.
Okay, so I can tell you, and I'll speak to this Thursday to your board. So we have preliminary audit numbers on the cash. So the Airport Authority, we've had, conversations and comments about cash. Since the threshold relocation project did not complete, we've got about $50,000 to $60,000 of that we have not spent yet. So that rolled over to the next year. So that's given you about 140, 150 unaudited cash. So that cash is available for you at year end the way it stands now. So I'm going to guess somewhere between 130, 140, somewhere in that neighborhood, as a rough estimate. Our auditors are still going to take a look at the fact that if you need that extra cash, because that cash was put in plan for those projects to be completed to help you. So there may still be additional money coming in. I've asked our auditors to actually make the determination whether or not the airport needs any of that 100,000 cash. But to move forward with this, as far as the cost, the Airport Authority is already being charged their own TCRS, all their payroll costs they're already paying for. They're paying for their own TCRS, they're paying for their portion of the health insurance. They're already paying for all of that. So for them, it's just a comparison of the new plans versus the old plans, which we'll talk about some of that on Thursday.
But are you still administering those for them?
We are right now. So the idea behind the January 1st is that's a cutoff for health insurance, and that's a clear cutoff for anything payroll related, so that the employees have an easier transition and not have two W-2s and two health plans to manage that cross over the years and those calendar years and those kind of things.
How many employees do y'all have now? How many employees?
3 full-time, 3 part-time.
6? There's a company called Gusto that does payroll, and they'll do all of the, I'll talk to you.
So if you
There's
need
some
if you need an RFP for anything like that, we can help you, because I'm sure we've done that before. Yes.
Make sure that we address item 5 and 6, like Angie said. I think that this is a realistic
Okay.
schedule that we've been provided.
Can y'all look at it and come back in 2 weeks? After you have a meeting?
Yes, our meeting's next week, so
Yeah, so,
it shouldn't be a problem.
Would that be best, us just table it until after your meeting?
I don't think it's gonna affect.
You don't think it's going to change? Then I make a motion, we approve.
okay.
Okay.
We have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you both. Chuck, you're it.
Okay. 8.5 is consideration of additional grant match funding request for Greenville Municipal Airport due to TDOT Aeronautics miscalculation.
I wouldn't characterize it as necessarily a miscalculation, but I do apologize that we have to come up again a second time.
And who are you?
I'm Chuck Hoskins with the Department of
Thank you.
Transportation, Aeronautics Division. What I had sent previously to the airport team was my understanding of the grant structures, and all new non-primary entitlement grants would be 95, 2.5, 2.5. What that they really meant was all new grants from the FAA would be 95, 2.5, 2.5. So grant from 2021, 2022, and 2024 are 90, 5, and 5. So you have to pony up a little bit more money to get the $1.4 million. All told, it's about 3.5% of the entire project. So that's an additional $9,615. I do apologize, but it did happen.
Is there any discussion? Do I hear a motion to approve? There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you coming up. Item 8.6, consideration to approve and accept the terms of the Second HEAL loan agreement for the Greenville Water Commission. Hello, Laura.
Hello. We were contacted last month from First Tennessee Development District about some additional funds that were left over from the HEAL money. If you'll recall, you all approved for us to get the $14 million several months ago, and that's going really good. The county's turning it around really fast for us within the week whenever we make a request. But this is the same exact documentation. All the paperwork is the same, except they changed the amount and they changed the date. So that's the only things that are different from the previous one, and it's an additional $5.6 million in the HEAL loans. That's the money that we have to pay back in 10 years or when we get reimbursed from FEMA. It kind of allows us a stepping stone until we get reimbursed from FEMA.
Was that 5.8 for the next floor?
It's just additional funding for whatever the scope will be part of that will include the third floor and some of the hardening of the facility.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve?
To help your cash flow, I guess.
Really, that's the main thing,
Yeah.
it's hard to cash flow when you're spending $300,000 a month. So hopefully by the end of this month, we'll be cooking with electricity.
Good.
We hope.
Has any of them gone to electric yet, or is it all still diesel?
It's still diesel, but we do have all of our drives. They're working on getting all those installed now. We're waiting on the roof to get finished before we finish those up. But
And the HEAL grant is a 0% interest loan for 10 years.
Correct.
Waiting on FEMA.
Yes.
Which is, do they go through TEMA?
Yes,
Now,
they
that's what's hold up right
they
now.
appropriate the money. FEMA appropriates the money to TEMA, and then TEMA
Distribute.
distributes it.
Hopefully.
But you basically are doing everything twice. So you've got to do all the
Oh,
paperwork.
I'm
Yeah,
aware.
Yeah. It's a fun time. I've been with them for the last 2 days, so it's been fun. But yes, anyway, that's all I've.
I make the motion, we approve, so they can get
There.
second round of HEAL loan.
Second.
Thank
Any
you.
further questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, like sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 8.7 is consideration of a resolution authorizing the town of Greenville to participate in the James L. Richardson Driver Training Matching Grant Program. If awarded, funds will be used to offset the cost of annual MVR, motor vehicle records checks, and for GPD to purchase a vehicle desktop driving simulator.
I tried to make that as
Chief.
wordy as possible.
Come up here and
Actually-
explain it.
Well, I'm the one writing this grant, so I've been in communication with Steve.
Don't put so many words in there.
And I'll speak to this a little bit too before he gets up here. We have a safety committee meeting every other month, and that is a representative from each town department. And one of the things that the safety committee has wanted to do for quite some time is to bring back a defensive driving course to make sure our employees are any employee could drive any vehicle at any point in time, whether they're a CDL driver or non-CDL, or if it's a fire truck or a police car or just a regular town car. So one of the things that the committee, along with hearing feedback from the employees, is that they would like to have, years ago, there was a driving course that the town employees participated in, and it required some class time and some course time. And so I had talked to Steve Spano and David Lewis about this, and there is a simulator that's a desktop simulator that has the steering wheel, the pedals, and 3 monitors and a gear shift, and it does all of the modules. So it has the class portion, and then you get to actually do the course portion, and it does the different modules, defensive driving, backing up, and working through hazardous conditions. And so we thought this would be a good fit to hopefully reduce liability claims, and then also just to provide this opportunity for our employees as a training opportunity. It's a $5,000 grant with a $5,000 local match, and that is about the cost of this desktop simulator, along with the offset of the motor vehicle record checks that HR does for all employees.
Budgeted for this.
But yes, because the police department will cover the local match on that.
This will come out of what fund?
Going to
Litigation?
come out, we actually had plans in our budget. It's coming out of our office furniture line.
Oh.
We had a little bit of extra in there that we were planning on buying a few things we could probably do without for what this is going to do for the entire citywide. just to
Couldn't
help
litigation
everybody out.
fund cover it though? Do you know?
I don't. Do you?
It's,
Laura?
it's police equipment, so.
That's what it's used
Might be
for.
stretching that one just a little bit.
Really?
Because this would be for all employees. It would necessarily
would
be
be.
for the police department.
The police department, yes.
The betterment of the town, to me,
Right.
fine.
I make a motion, we approve,
Second.
put in for the grant.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Those against, like sign. Motion carries.
This is just a note too. This is one of there's actually 4 now public entity partner grant opportunities. This is the 3rd one that we've came before you so far. There's one more, a cybersecurity grant, but we've already been awarded the Safety Partners Grant, which is helping the fire department this year. We just got awarded yesterday the Property Conservation Grant, and that's helping the Roby with some security cameras. And then now we'll apply for this one for the police department and for HR to do the motor vehicle records check, and then we'll bring before you in a couple of weeks the other opportunity for us to apply for that cybersecurity through PEP.
Okay, thank you. Item 8.8, another one, consideration of a resolution for the Public Works Department to apply, accept, administer, and amend a grant for the 2025 TDOT Transportation Planning Grant. If awarded, Public Works, I'll just let him tell us what he's going to do with this.
I'm putting too much information in this agenda packet. I was just trying to be.
So this is a transportation planning grant. It's up to $250,000, and I believe, Kathy, that there
No
is
match.
no match on this because Greene County is considered at risk. So there are a number of different things that this can be used for in terms of planning. Right now, one of the things that I've kind of mentioned, I'm trying to get feedback. I know there's a process in place to put together a plan for the future use over at George Clem. So the first thing that kind of came to mind was maybe taking a look at the entire Wesley Heights area and doing a complete streets plan for that area. That's going to look at all the different forms of mobility, all the different types of users of the roads, the sidewalks, all the facilities over there. And come up with some ideas and some treatments to make things safer for everybody, to make it more usable for bikes, pedestrians. So we'll be looking at sidewalks. It'll really just be a broad range of different things that can be done as a complete process. And I feel like if we can maybe tie that in with the plans to develop or the future use for George Clem, that might be a really good fit for this particular opportunity. So I'm still looking for feedback on that. Also, we could look at doing a community mobility plan for the entire town of Greenville. Looks at basically a lot of the same things, just broadens the scope, and also includes things like transit. But again, focusing on the different modes of transportation, mobility for everybody involved.
Scott, you had me at no match.
Yeah, really, it's a good opportunity. It is a plan, but in order to get any subsequent funding going down the line with future grants, you have to use this to get that plan in place. So I think it's a pretty good opportunity to.
Yeah.
Sure it is.
How competitive is it?
What I understand, there's quite a bit of funding available, so if you put together a good case, and I know we did apply for this
2018, 19,
year
it
before
was,
last, we had, what I thought were some really good upgrade plans for signals that are already existing, just doing infrastructure upgrades, and we didn't get it, so.
but we were awarded this a couple years ago.
I think we got the signal timings, one of the timing plan studies done with this, which is something you can do, but to me, this right now, with what's going on with George Clem, I think is a pretty good opportunity to maybe see what we can do with it.
Do I hear a motion?
Sure, yes. I make a motion, we approve.
Second.
Any further questions? All those in favor say aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 8.9 is consideration to approve the purchase and installation of Wavetronics vehicle detection and ADA audible pedestrian push buttons along Main Street at Church, Depot, and Summer Street. I asked Logan earlier if he had been taking training from Tony on how to ask for money, and he said he had plenty of ways of go ahead.
This will basically be adding the ADA compliancy buttons out here on our 3 signals that have the crosswalks. A little closer. This will be adding the audible buttons at our 3 crosswalks we have downtown on Main Street. This would allow with our visually impaired and help with the ADA compliancy on that. And also that would be with an addition of more radar detection on all 3 signals as well. That would help the flow of traffic through that corridor as well. And that would allow the signals just to have more green time on the main street while the side streets aren't being serviced. Like right now, they're all strictly on time base. So they're going to change regardless if anybody's there or not. And also the new buttons would be able to be pressed at each intersection, and the lights would time out and change as somebody was there, and they wouldn't allow if nobody would be standing there as well. So, and this includes the installation of that, whether or not they have to pull wire in places, in some places they may not. But the
It was my understanding the wire was put in during,
on Depot Street.
well, I was thinking it was on Summer. Maybe not. You might be right. I know Depot is.
I think
So you're talking about Church, Depot, and Summer.
all 3, yes. I think a couple of them were installed at Summer Street. I went around with the contractor and visually looked at things, and there were some were and some wasn't.
So what's the cost of this?
It was going to be a little over $10,000. That was including the wire if needed. So it potentially will be less than that. But that was the max bid it would be.
Budgeted? Are you budgeted?
there's 3 different invoices in there.
Yes, I've got all the invoices.
Okay. So grand total, it's more of 72.
It's going, 72, 978 and 60 cents is the grand total, what I've got.
And it is not budgeted, but we have Depot Street bond money we have to spend. So I have also, allowed for this money in those proceeds we have available, as well as the railings.
I make a motion to approve.
May I
Sure.
say something? That being said, with the bond money, I've had at least 4 people ask me why we took the colored stamped asphalt. It's not concrete. Some people thought it was concrete, but it was stamped and colored on Main Street, Depot Street. the crosswalks and the center. You can see it down on Irish Street. Is that something we could use to put that back since we had Main Street paved and they took that out?
I'm sure we can. I've got extra money in there. By the time we pay for the pedestrian walkway, which we have $300,000 budgeted for that, and I take this money out and the railings, there's about $40,000 left. So if we need to,
Well, I hope it wouldn't cost that, but
no, but I
I've
mean,
heard some crazy figures of what it would cost.
but I would defer to them for cost and timing and equipment and so forth.
Because we have a academy in college, and we had Maine and Depot, and we had Irish and Depot, and we had Cutler and Depot, correct? Those three were stained, the intersection stained.
Academy is not done. I came through there on the way over here and I just happened to notice.
Well, the academy and college.
I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm
Depot.
pretty sure it is. Okay.
It's painted?
Well, you can call it academy or depot, whichever one you want,
No,
right
you're
down here.
So, after we left over there a little while ago, he's gonna give me a contact. I'll have the vendor reach out with the
Okay.
materials and all, because we looked at what was down at Depot and Irish, and didn't at first glance quite look like what it was supposed to be. It's really, really thin down there too, and you can see the asphalt through it. It should be more of a, almost a solid thermoplastic type overlay apparently. But anyway, I'm gonna get a quote and get all the numbers
Well,
together.
they actually painted that stain
They
during the
painted
night.
everything, Yeah.
So I didn't know how long it lasted. I mean, I don't know if it will, but Mayor told me you were going to get
Yeah.
prices, and I think we should, because people have inquired to me why it's gone, but we're not going to turn down a free paving job through our town either, but maybe that's the way they felt to do it, instead of scarifying up to the color and feathering it back in, I thought was going to happen, but that didn't. I'm sorry to hijack this, was going.
No, it's okay.
I thought it'd
That's
be a
fine.
time when she mentioned the bond
Good.
funds, I figured this would be a good.
That's, thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Teague.
Okay. Now, what about
We have a motion and a second.
okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 8.10 is consideration to approve the installation of a street light on Oak Grove Road between the intersection of Sweet Pea Trail and Oak Grove
So, yeah,
twice.
Sweet Pea Trail is just like a horseshoe loop out off of Oak Grove, and the name of the neighborhood escapes me.
Wildwood
Wildwood
Landing.
Landing.
So that request was made from the HOA. Apparently, there is a bus stop that's on Oak Grove, and
At that location.
at that location, and it's really dark. GEA looked at it, I looked at it, and I think the school system, Philip Graham looked at it, and they can't really move the bus stop inside the neighborhood. The school system can't. So there's actually an existing utility pole where that red circle is, and GEA took a look at it, and they said they can move some things around and get a street light mounted on that pole. So
That's actually the low spot on Oak Grove.
It is.
Right,
When you
because
come
you
over
can see
there
the
at
pond,
night,
the
it's
the
really
detention pond's right there beside it.
really dark. So, I think it's definitely a place that needs one. And given the fact that there's a pole already in place, it's a pretty simple, should be a simple installation. The cost, there's no upfront cost to the town. It's anywhere from best case around $500 to worst case about $1,000 if they have to do any additional wiring or anything like that. But, so that number came from Stacy. And then basically the cost is it just increases our streetlight maintenance, our bill for that, but it's not something it's not a big expense really, and I think it's needed, so.
I think since this has been brought to our attention, there's another life safety issue, kids waiting on a bus there. I think I'll make the motion, we approve this.
I agree 100%, Tim.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Those against, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 8.11, consideration of change order request for 178-76250 for landfill hydrogeologic investigation and reports by UES.
Say it faster and it won't sound like so much.
And it's 178-762, like the guys on the television or the radio commercials.
Okay, we're we're wrapping up the preliminary stages, and we're actually starting to move into phase 2 with the process out there. And what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to come in and drill some groundwater monitoring wells. And it's more expensive than it used to be, so that's where we're coming up with more cost. And TDEC requires you to do this before you can move forward with the construction of the landfill. You gotta know what you're dealing with. It's part of the testing. So,
Where's your 0% match? You're not coming to us with one?
well, hopefully there'll be some help somewhere at some point. I
I mean,
can't say.
If TDEC's not going to approve it before this is done, I think they sort of have us, right?
Basically, yes. So I guess bottom line is if we don't have a landfill, if we fill up, then we're going to have to start hauling, and that'll be astronomical on down the road. So we're better off with our own landfill, in my view. So whatever
Where would this change order money come from?
Yeah.
It's, Tony doesn't like for me to say this, but he has enough cash to cover that. It would just be a budget amendment for him.
Yeah, here he is.
You're holding it up. Tony is. No, he's going to spend some more out here in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
That's budgeted.
Okay.
Those are budgeted.
But we've got the money to cover
We
it.
do,
Make a
yes, sir.
motion, we approve.
Okay, we got a motion. Is there a second? Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, like sign. Motion carries.
It is a design of a 15-acre tract. You saw that in the paperwork. That would last for years to come.
Okay, item 8.12 is consideration to approve the purchase of a 2015 cat trash compactor for the landfill.
This is something we've been in need of for a while. It's a used piece of equipment, and the reason we're looking at used is because new, they're $800,000 to $900,000 for this machine. This has a lot of hours on it, and we're doing the oil sample testing on it to make sure the engine's well. We went down there and done a test drive, and it can increase available land space or landfill airspace by at least a third, it says. So if you're putting 26,000 ton in one, that's 8,666 tons. So if you times that by 40 a ton, last year's prices, that'd be $346,640 saved. So it'd pay for itself in less than a year, even if we ended up having to rebuild it. So I say, and it costs about $250,000 to rebuild one. So we'd have a totally rebuilt machine if we had to. I hope that it lasts. But I'm just saying if it didn't, and we put that in, we'd still have one for half price and be making our money back
Less than half price, yep.
greatly.
Good job.
I make a motion, we approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, like sign. It's because of Tony's hard work like this where he saves this kind of money that he's got money in the bank, right, Laura? Or something.
She didn't say.
I think it's progress that brings the money, and not much I have to do with it.
Item 8.13 is consideration to approve the purchase of a CAT 315 excavator for the landfill.
This is state contract as well. We're getting a lot of wear and tear on our old excavator, And this one will have a flat edge bucket and a thumb that we can use to actually pick up stuff. And say if we ended up having to haul, we could use this to load the trailers in the building. But hopefully, we never have to do that. But still, we're gonna need it to load brush with and do our excavating and things.
And you said this is in the budget?
Yes.
Is this used too?
No, this is new on this.
If you compact the trash with the used one, don't you need something to pick it up, or can you go under it? The compacted trash?
What they'll do is say if you're just dumping it in the demolition, they'll dump on the ground, the dozer will push it to the compactor, and the compactor will break it on down. And so the excavator, we normally just use it for the brush and excavating dirt, for our filling. And I'm just saying, if we did have to haul on down the road, we'd have that bucket where we
Gotta
could
have them.
load trucks if we had to.
I make a motion, we approve.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, like sign. Motion carries.
Second. He adjourned, I second.
Okay,
Thank you.
we'll adjourn the city council meeting and open the special call meeting of the beer board.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Any further discussion?
You second?
Oh, okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, like sign. Motion carries. New business is consideration to approve an application for off-premise consumption at Shrivy's 2025 Inc. DBA, Forest Hills Corner, 1302 Snapsberry Road. Hello, Chief.
Hello, sir. We looked into the applicant, and there's no conflicts with our city ordinances, and we would respectfully recommend that it be approved.
Do I hear a motion?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those
Motion-
against, like sign.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye. Thank
Aye.
you.
Thank you, Chief.
Zip. Zippity.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I was stuck to the chair. Like,
Thought you were gonna be like Morrison. Oh, can you?
stroke out.
Can y'all come down here just a second?
Okay.
That was me.
Oh,
Yeah. When you
no, I just
walk in the building.
stuck to the chair.
I was trying to get hold of Scott there. I was sending him an email. Yeah, well, he emailed me today, and I'm going to do a calendar invite to see when everybody's available to do another meeting. But that's why I was trying to coordinate with Scott and Dave right now on the pocket park with Rock. Oh, this has nothing to do with me. Just Facebook
Mayor
stop
Morrison agreed to cover all the costs
of the library. Yeah,
Oh, awesome.
yeah.
So,
For the addition.
Who's Scott? Scott.
all the food grinder.
He must be running next.
Dave, I just sent you a text. Dave Wright's here, and he was asking if you all wanted the rock that's left over in the pocket park before they dispose of it. Do you have a need for that? It's not much, but it's some. You want to? Let me ask Dave. He was just asking me before the meeting.
Where are you headed?
Oh, when we get that supper lined up.
Do what? Maybe you can go in there and stop it.
See you later.
You think that guy will just reach in